Guys, welcome back to the channel. So we got Kevin here, all the way from Arizona, and we are going to be converting the 55 to power brakes. So we're going to get rid of all this junk. We don't need the line locker because it apparently doesn't work. I don't know, it might not, doesn't matter. I'll never use it.
I mean, if we put power to it, it might work, but I don't really see Scott using that, so might as well unclutter the motor compartment. Good thing about this car already is equipped with disc brakes up front, and it does have the drum brakes in the back, which are just fine.
We have no idea what disc brakes these are. I mean,
well, you did look up the calipers. They came up 1970 Chevelle, but
that was just one person saying, I think, because they were in a box labeled 70 Chevelle.
Yeah, so
we have 70 Chevelle pads, which if they don't fit, we'll be sending them back.
Yeah, but for today and possibly just for this video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the CPP brake booster kit on here with the proportioning valve, and we're probably gonna utilize whatever lines we have here because they seem to be okay, and they may have been changed, within the last 15 years, which is fine. Sounds like a lot of years, but if you're driving a year 2000 car, like, I drive, I mean, it's 23 years old and the brake lines are still fine. So what's the difference, right? So,
So first thing we're going to do, we're going to pop these off. We're going to drain the master cylinder, get the master cylinder out, and see where we stand. So let's get wrenching. All right, we saved you all the time and taking all the junk off of here. So what Kevin's doing now is we're measuring from basically the firewall to the center of the pedal. The hole.
Which we already went inside and put it onto the center of the hole there, and it came out to 6 3/8 to the outer part of the firewall here. Reason we did that is if we come over here, we can. These are notoriously long, and let's see. Well, yeah, see, this is at 6 3/4, so we got to adjust this down just to get us in the ballpark here to 6 3/8.
And we don't know why this has the Heim joint on it. We're going to be going back to the clevis over there, right?
Yeah, that's what I would do, but let's just make sure that when this goes on, let's see where this goes, because this might bolt up to the pedal fine.
Yeah.
It could be offset.
Yeah. So, well, let's just mock this up, make sure we don't have any clearance issues. We have this, the breather's definitely in the way. And then you just look at that and tell that. So we'll pull this off, we'll mock it up, and then we'll clean up all these,
Yeah,
all
what
the
we could
threads.
do is we could swap that to the PCV valve.
Okay.
But we'll get that on there first, and
Let's go.
see where this lays.
All right, problem number 1.
Yeah.
What are you doing there, Kev?
Well, I'm dropping everything because the camera got me nervous. I'm so scared on camera. So these 4 bolts are normally used for the single pot master cylinder on a 55 through 57 Chevy. This had a dual pot on here, which they utilized the bottom bolts. So these were kind of just in the wind for how many years, and it just got all corroded. Scott went over it with a wire wheel, but now I'm just running a 3/8 24 tap on here. This way we could get the nuts started on there. Now the second, well, not a big problem, but you got to do this. But the problem is right here. Make it pan out a little bit.
Yeah, our breather is directly in the way.
Yeah, so we tried to put the PCV valve in here, instead of the big breather, and it still hits the vacuum canister. So we're going to have to see what we're going to do here, because there is a oil plug on that side, but I think it's probably going to hit as well. So this is a situation right now we got to handle, but we'll get to that right now.
Basically, I think we're probably going to pull the valve cover, plug this, drill a hole up here. It's probably going to be the best way. We'll double check once we throw this on. But.
Yeah, so what I'm doing now is getting this, I want to get this bolted on because I took off the line lock that you saw on the last screen. And I want to see where all the lines are going to lay and see where we're at. So
good times.
Get that done.
All right, little update. So we know we have to pull the valve cover off, cover up that hole, put a new breather hole somewhere up here. Doesn't really matter where. We got all the lines. Everything's all mocked up, ready to go. But we're running into an issue, and it's not a big deal. I mean, the booster's got to come off anyway. If you look up under here, I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see it, but where this clips up into here, I am hitting the bolt. I mean, the bolt's hitting the pedal. So this bolt, which I'll show you when we're out of here, the bolt up inside this clevis is going to have to get cut. Not a big deal, real easy to do, but because of that, you know, that's as far as it goes. I'm sorry about the light. I know you really can't see anything, but can't get there. We're almost there, but bolt's hitting the brake pedal, so we got to cut probably 3/4 of an inch off. So we got it mocked up. We're gonna pull it out, and we're gonna continue. All right, so as you can see, we got the valve cover off. Kevin is over here drilling in the new breather hole. We capped the old one.
Why am I cutting everything and grinding on it?
I just got done cutting the shaft, so now hopefully we should have plenty of clearance in there. And a little side note, I was not going to tell Kevin about this. This little tiny piece of aluminum, when I first pulled off the valve cover, it was laying right there. And
do a little bit of an outshot on it. Put it in my hand.
Yeah. So
okay,
yeah. Small little piece of aluminum. I wasn't going to tell Kevin because Kevin would want to tear down the motor if he knew there was metal in the motor. So long story short, got drunk last night, brought this up to him. He looked at this little piece of metal, and
we were at the bar.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't even look at it. He says it's like a aluminum kind of pointy looking piece.
Triangle.
Kind of triangle. And I was like, I bet you it's one of the drippers from a Mickey Thompson valve cover. And I've cut enough out of them to know this is actually one of those pieces. And I'm actually kind of still impressed with myself knowing what it was, not even seeing it.
Yeah, we got home and looked at it, and he's like, yep, so that's good news.
So,
valve train's good.
The way it looks like, though, this was not cut, because we normally cut these off to put roller rockers on, and this is clearly broken. So what I'm thinking is this was on a valve cover. They started the engine up, and it just, I mean, totally bitch slapped it and broke it off.
Which is, probably why they went with these valve covers.
Actually, look, because it's dented, too.
Yeah.
See, it's dented?
Yep.
So, yeah, kind of funny story.
So, yeah, needless to say, we can't go with the short valve covers because of the roller rockers, which is why we're doing what we're doing.
But the thing is, it could be a little tight, possibly. Yeah, I mean, they're not that much taller, but where they do hit is usually here on the poly locks. So, I would, you know what? I mean, looking at it now, I would say that's probably going to be pretty damn close. So, we were talking about shorter valve covers with the booster. When Scott and I were talking about it, I told him, hey, go with the 7-inch because of the big block in the car and clearances. And I'll tell you,
even the 7-inch is tight.
That thing has to get probably taken off and moved to the side just to take a valve cover off.
Yeah.
So I was telling Scott, maybe you ought to get a shorter valve cover, and he was like, well, I'm just not going to take it off.
Yep.
Like,
just leave it on.
That's probably accurate. So
if you got to take the valve cover, got to take the booster. Oh, well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So let's get this all thrown back in. Yep. Here's a little tip. When you set the brake booster, you can see we got about a finger between the brake booster and the valve cover. These ovals are adjustable, so lift this all the way up and then tighten it down. And that should help our angle inside the car also, which we're about to find out. She's all installed. Went inside, clipped the pedal on. We got about, say a little over a 1/4 inch of clearance between the valve cover and the booster, but yeah, she's all plumbed in, all tightened down, and it's late, so we're going to call it a night, and we're going to bench bleed this tomorrow. Well, bench bleed it in the car, obviously. It's actually just easier because the motor's on the bench. Bleed it, and we're going to try these out. Who knows if it's nice out tomorrow.
We are doing the brakes here still. We got everything hooked up and we're doing some bleeding right now.
Bench bleeding off the bench.
Yeah, 55 Chevy bleeding. Much nicer to use a pedal than a screwdriver in its ass, and you know. So coming out good, looking good. Got Scott on the brakes here.
Can we get there?
Yeah, oh yeah. Step you definitely want to do.
All right, so here's where we're at. We're getting ready to bleed the brakes. Kevin has this just kind of cracked here.
It's all tightened now, but
we kind of just wanted to fill up the proportioning valve.
Yeah, this way we get the fluid down to where the line has not been opened for the brake system. This way we minimize how much bubbles we're going to have to push through the whole system. So
yeah, we are going to be trying the Harbor Freight air bleeder, which I've never had success with, although I tried it once. But we'll see. Maybe these brakes are just better than the last brakes.
Maybe we'll scare it straight, right?
So we got this little thing. We hook it up to a compressor. We put this on the valve, crack it free, pull the trigger. So I'm going to do that. And Kevin, you're going to have to keep an eye out there.
Keep an eye on that. Yep.
Because it might start draining pretty quick. So you're going to be in charge of filling it back up.
Sounds
they do have like a bottle that you can put on there that'll self-feed it, but that's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can get something bled. All right, well, the back tires bled out great. Front tires, I am having a serious issue. I just keep pulling air, I did find a leak that at the proportioning valve went and fixed. And I just keep pulling air through. So the only thing I can do now is I'm going to throw the cap on. I'm going to pump the shit out of these brakes and see where I'm pulling air. There's got to be a leak somewhere. So we'll figure it out. I'm wondering if maybe somewhere down here. I don't know. But filled it up, put the cap on. My first leak was from right here. And that's all tight, I believe. But I'm pulling a lot of air, so I'll find out when the brake fluid squirts out somewhere. Because you're not going to find it pulling air. You got to be pushing the fluid. So let's do it. All right, so here is our completion of the power booster upgrade. We do have to get a little bit longer line. This is just
yeah, make sure it's pushed on all the way.
Yeah. It's pushed on enough.
Yep.
And we have not test drove this car either, ever. This car, for my purposes, went from the lower driveway to the upper driveway, where it sat here for the next 5 months. So we're just double checking, make sure we didn't leave any tools or anything in here.
Everything's tight.
Yeah, so you want to get in and fire up, Kevin? I don't want to flood it.
Ah, you do it. I'll work the throttle.
All right. Here you go.
All right.
What do you think, 2 pumps?
3.
Is it a 3-pump car?
Yeah.
Pretty sure. Right?
There you go.
Come on, baby. brakes, the pedal feels. I mean, I guess it's gonna feel
No, it's
lighter.
gonna be power brakes now.
What?
It's power brakes. It'll work.
Yeah.
Just put it in reverse, and if it goes crazy, you shut off the key.
Well, I'd rather it idle down a little bit.
Well, let it warm up.
Yeah.
The radio work?
I don't know. Let me try the station.
Is the power on?
It's on, yeah.
Might have to put your Michael Jackson tape in it. I don't hear any speakers.
I don't hear any speakers either.
Yeah, I just bought the same.
I hear something.
Oh yeah, I just bought the same radio for my 57 at a swap meet.
Why did it die?
I don't know.
Oh, I know why. I never had the fuel pump on.
Oh great.
Hey, it's a learning experience.
It ain't got no gas in it.
Fuel pump.
There we go.
Makes sense.
Now we gotta put a sticker on it. Turn the fuel pump on, you big dummy.
Yeah.
I'm not a smart man.